Good morning, good afternoon, welcome.
So we're talking about continuing from what we discussed last time was how comfortable are we in our skin. So
Mhm,
we're talking, do we seek validation from others on the choices that we make? So
mhm,
how important it is for us, sometimes to make our choice validated from others, or we are not confident that whatever we're going to be, making a pick of may not be right, or possibly it is the lack of security and that we feel that when it comes from others, it would be better off for. So possibly how we are not okay in what we feel and how we take the guidance from.
hmm,
So really, I think it's so important, especially when we think about the social media these days. And psychologically, also, people have been saying that the algorithm that works in the social media is also playing with the human feelings, the need for validation. And that's how
mhm,
they have made that into a business, that how many likes are we getting from people, the pictures that we post, or if we are not getting, and there has also been a sense where there is a sense of depression that people go in, keep
hmm,
for this, we've just not been, or maybe I'm not looking that good enough that people are not appreciating me. That's
hmm.
how. So I think really it's such an important topic, and we really need to be guided on this.
So, I would say this time, let's just switch the things and let me hear from you all, like, anybody of you. And if you can switch on your camera, it would be lovely. If not, that's also fine. That reflect and see why is it that you feel the need for validation from others is very important, need for approval. See, let's come to the base of it, that we all love validation. Who would not like to be validated? Who would not like to be appreciated? But what stakes am I putting on that? And you used the word choice. Choice of what? Is it my choice of my happiness, choice of the way I want to live, that my happiness totally depends on the approval or the validation, or I would say the presence of that other person. Not the approval or the validation, just the presence of that other person knows that, I am, or I know that I'm needed in the other person's life. I am needed in the other person's life. So that gives me a high. Every time you feel needed, you feel that that neediness is your importance. But that needn't be so, isn't it? We feel a lot of times that, yeah, I have to do this for my children. I have to sort of, make their food, feed them. So when I'm feeding them or I'm making food, as a child, it's okay. But we continue feeling that neediness as a mother even when we grow up. And then they feel, just move back, yeah, just stay away. And then suddenly you feel that withdrawal, that the child is withdrawing from you. He doesn't need me anymore. A lot of us feel that, isn't it? As soon as these teenagers, they start growing up, because till then they're totally in your control, what they're eating, where they're going, because it's you who are sort of, directing them and looking after their basic needs. But then you are actually training them or building them up to that level where they can be independent and be on their own. But the moment they take that step forward and they say, okay, bye mom, bye dad, I'm leaving, it's like suddenly fear comes up, because you feel not fear for them, what they are going to do. It's more fear for you, because they don't need me anymore. But that's what you brought them up for, isn't it? To bring them to that level where they are ready to step off and fly off. So, yeah, that aside, let's come back to what I was emphasizing. Where does any of you can answer this? Where is it that you feel that, you're not able to move ahead, or you feel that things are stuck in life because somewhere subconsciously, and a lot of times we don't even realize it, you feel that, I don't think I am up to this level, or I don't think I can do this, and that's because nobody has told you that you can do it. Nobody has approved of the way that you have been. So a lot of times you hold on to those things in your heart that, um, yeah, I'm like, yeah, you get my question. So I don't want to give more examples. Let's hear from any of you. Just one or two of you share, then we'll pick it up from there. Yeah, Uma.
So, yeah, so like from childhood, when we were children, we were always rewarded when we listened or when we did something, and when we didn't, it was disapproval was shown. So I think for me especially, I think I grew up with that every time I did something somebody liked or my parents liked, it would be like a pat on my shoulder. So I personally, I feel I've carried it forward till now, right now too.
Yeah. It has improved since we met.
Yes. I've been working on my boundaries a lot.
Yeah. So it's been like that because see, and especially with a person who's always doing for others and putting herself to, in that energy of subservience, if I may use a word.
Yes.
It gets difficult to withdraw, and then
Mm-hmm.
you feel that I'm not sort of valued for what I'm doing. I'm not really acknowledged or appreciated for what I'm doing. And it's because, and like you even said, I want to go back to what you said, that when we did not do the right thing, when we did the right thing as children, we were rewarded in some way. It was like a pat on the back. And when we did not do it, there was a kind of, like there was a, I wouldn't say a kind of a punishment, but it was kind of a withdrawal of love. You used a word, I'm just trying to recollect.
Disapproval.
Disapproval, yeah. So it wasn't disapproval, it is more like the disapproval was actually withdrawal of love, isn't it? The fear
Yeah.
was there would be withdrawal. Like we tell the children, we tell when children are small, if you do this, then I'm not going to talk to you.
Exactly.
If you would listen to me, I'm not going to talk to you. And what would it mean for a child who is already full of fear to have a thought that my mother is not going to talk to me or my father is not going to talk to me? It just breaks the heart. It's like the end, because at that moment, it's only the mother and the father. There's nobody else. You try to 15-year-old, I'm not going to talk to you. She'll say, okay, thank God, you're not going to talk to me for something. Isn't it? So, but those fearful imprints get imprinted somewhere inside us, isn't it? So that need for doing things to get approval from other or what will please other, the appeasement energy becomes so strong in many of us. In many it doesn't also. But again, it depends. Where does it come from? Where is the base? The base is about how good you feel about yourself. There are some children who are just born and they don't really need any kind of approval. They are just okay the way they are. You tell them good, of course they feel good about it, but they wouldn't stop their life just because they feel that, okay, the other person is not pleased with me, because their purpose is not to please the other person. And they know that they are not doing anything to say make the other person feel upset. If the other person feels upset, it is their responsibility, which is absolutely right. But when we take it on and then we feel that my even validation for myself comes when I approve of this, when I get this approval from, say, my parents or my partner or for my children or for my friends, it's only because you are not valuing your own opinion. If you are doing something and you are fully sure of what you're doing and you know that what you're doing is not really harming or hurting anybody, and somebody tells you that's not a good thing to do, you will totally drop it only if you're not confident about yourself and you value the other's opinion, especially at this adult age. I'm not talking about childhood. We have to, bring our children up with that thing, but of course, not withdrawing love, because withdrawing love is like the biggest, it creates a stopgap. In energy healing, we say it creates a kind of stopgap, and those are some of the emotionally charged times where imprints get embedded in our subconscious, and those fears carry with us through our life. They really carry with us through our life.
Is there also, like you said, some children don't need it and some need it? Is that also something from a past life that they could have brought with them?
See, the thing is that there is definitely from past life. Like I give this example, you have two children in the house, even if they are twins, they're coming in
very
at the same
different.
time, just a different of, say, a few seconds,
Yeah.
5 seconds, 10 seconds, and they are brought up in the same environment with the same parents, with the same grandparents, same house, going to the same school, the same teachers. Yet they have their own, like if you scold them, one will just absolutely shiver with fear and the other will just not bother. So obviously there is an imprint from the past, right? But we have no way of proving it. So we don't really need to go into that because that's a study. But I truly believe that there are certain things that carry from our past lives and many lives. And now that I'm studying so much of family constellation in detail, I can really see from where it comes. The other night only we were doing a family constellation, and there was this lady who was fighting or sort of struggling with her finances. And it happened that grandfather's brother had taken some huge loans, or had taken some, had a lot of money to repay in the village that they lived in. And so through the lineage that kept coming, the fear of repaying that. So she today was always finding herself, that she had to pay her bills, she was in debts, and certain things kept coming up. So these things do come from there. A lot of this, I'm just mentioning one thing because it just happened 2 nights before. But there are so many things that tell us that yes, they do come. But now my present belief now is that whatever, it could be your past life, it could be due to your parents' upbringing. I mean, they did their best, but yes, it could be some things that they were not aware of. It could be due to the relationship of your parents. It could be due to the relationship of the family setup that you were in, due to school or friends, whatever, traumas, incidents, they all happen. But what now? Where are you now? How do you want to live now? Now that you're aware that, yeah, आज उसने मुझे बोला नहीं अच्छा लग रहा हूँ, तो I'm not looking good. How do you want to live like that? Or just look in your mirror and look at yourself, smile at yourself, pat yourself on the back and say, wow, I'm looking beautiful. I mean, I feel that sometimes you just get ready and you step out of the room and your children say, oh my God, what are you wearing? Are you going to go in this? But you feel like, yeah, you've done your best, but it's fine. So that should not disappoint you. That should not put you down, because these things are going to happen. Everybody has a freedom of their choice and their opinions, and their like they have a better understanding of certain things which you may not. So say, okay, suggest what I should wear, change, and you'll find yourself looking even better. So why not? But don't take it personally. Oh gosh, I just did so much and I prepared myself and now you're commenting like this. And they're not commenting to put you down, they're only commenting to pick you up, so that you know that there is a better part of you or a better way in which you can carry yourself, which you may not be familiar with. I really feel that at this middle age of, like after 40, 45, it goes into role reversal. Whether it is your way of, dressing yourself up, whether it is your way of knowing about food and everything, unless you're really updated with whatever's happening in the world, it's really your children teaching you. And I feel it's so good to acknowledge that and say, okay, wow, I mean, I'm learning now. At least I'm getting back all that knowledge that I have given you. Now you are giving me, which is fine. We should not take it in a negative way, isn't it? So yes, approval feels good to everybody, but you don't have to base your life or your happiness on that, is all that I want to say. And how will that come? How will that come? Yesterday, I think I was speaking to one of you here only, and it was like, how to do it? And I mean, I've heard your talks, I understand it, it's all there in my mind, but how to live it, how to really live it, because that time suddenly there is a sensation, there is a vibration in your body which makes you, start to slip down. Like you were expecting somebody to reciprocate in a way, maybe you wanted somebody to call you or somebody to, respond in a way, or in the office setup, everybody was needing to be clapping for you for what you did, but it just passed away as, okay, she did well, and you were like, oh gosh, I put my whole last month's energy and now I'm not even being applauded or called on stage and being given an approval for that. Or in a lot of these corporates, I see people, because I don't really understand the working of corporates, but they have this time when they have their appraisal, that period when they have their appraisal, and it's like everybody's so worked up around it. And if, God forbid, they do not get the kind of appraisal that they are seeking, and that is just not a raise in their salary, it is about the points or something that they get from their seniors, it's like such a setback for them. It's such a setback for them, because it's like that is going to determine their next sort of designation in the organization, in the corporate world. But everybody has a right to express their views. And so if you don't okay, you can't say anything there. But I know of people and children who are so badly hit by that their whole self-esteem goes for a toss. So that sensation or that fear that comes into you when you're not given that kind of approval or validation, and it, day by day, it starts making you sink into the ground. How are you going to do that? Are you going to go about asking people, please praise me, please validate me? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to do it yourself. You're going to do it yourself in such a way that you get used to, you know, knowing that you are just fine the way you are. Like we spoke even last week, you are just comfortable in your own skin. Today morning only, I was just writing a message to somebody in Dubai who said we would love to meet you and all that, since I'm traveling tomorrow. So I very nicely responded that yeah, we'll definitely meet. I don't know them, I've never seen them. So I was just thinking and reflecting to myself, I could never have done that. If I am not comfortable with who I am, I would not just go anywhere with anybody and say that yeah, I'll come and join, because I'm feeling so judged about myself. What will they think of me? What will they, what reflection will they get? What will they be? How will it be? All those questions keep coming in the mind. But once you get into this state, why, it's fine. I mean, somebody's saying, let's meet up. Let's just go and meet up. What is there to feel so judged about? And if you are uncomfortable, then 100 questions will pour into your head, right? Will they approve of me or not? Will this meeting be good enough that I will get a kind of an approval or a sanction that yes or not? But that's not true. I don't need that. I really don't need that. And like all of us understand this very well. So when you feel that, start looking at yourself. The mirror work is just so powerful in this. And last time somebody even mentioned it, that it's not easy to do. I think it's not easy to do when you start, but if you just don't say anything, but just look at yourself in the mirror in the morning, which we all do, but so unconsciously. If we do the same thing with a little bit of awareness, we look at ourselves, we smile at ourselves, we see that smile in our eyes, and we give it to ourselves, definitely these sensations inside will begin to settle down. And that's why I think this poster that Srishti made for this talk was like just so appropriate. I remember once, I don't know whether it's Vani here or another student of mine, Nupur in London, because initially, we used to, in one of my talks initially, I think when Vinita and I started, I think I mentioned this, that why are we waiting for somebody to send us flowers? If just receiving flowers on your door makes you feel so good, just go and tell the florist that next week just drop the bouquet on my um, front door. You get up in the morning, open, you receive flowers. Why do you need to know who has sent you? Is that more important, or that beautiful bouquet of flowers? Of course, if it is someone from a loved one, it does, it does lift you up in a different way. But otherwise, just write a nice message to yourself and send it. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful way of acknowledging yourself, rewarding yourself. The other day, I had this Akashic reading class, Friday and Saturday, both the days. And, the moment the class finished, I really felt good. I really felt good that, wow, it was such a wonderful session. And many of you here were there, because I could feel that energy and that connection to everybody present there. So the moment I shut my laptop, it was like, wow, thank you, God. It was so beautiful. And I literally felt like patting myself on my back, that, yeah, we keep waiting for others to give us that pat. So we keep waiting all our lives. But when you start doing it, and also this is the simple law of attraction, whatever you focus on, it will expand in your life. If you focus on saying that, okay, I'm not able to do it, or, nobody approves of me, then nobody will approve of you. But if you only start patting yourself and saying, wow, so many times Srishti and Tanvi send me a simple message or a poster, which when I always reply back in a very motivating way. The other day only they said something, and it's like, wow, you're perfect, you're the best. I mean, that's what you need to keep telling yourself all the time, because they have done their best. Yesterday she sent a poster and I said, no, this is not you, Srishti. And immediately she got up and she sent a quote, and I said, wow, this sounds so perfect, and you're the best. So immediately it shifts because she got my approval. But the fact is that when she made that poster, probably she was not in a high vibrational state. And the moment, she got that little high from me because I said, this is not your standard or something like that. I just felt that, because she does it so well. And so immediately you see the shift in the other person's energy. So yes, we do that all the time. And as you mentioned, Uma, it's like when we start from childhood, we do keep pushing our children by motivating them. Isn't it? That's the whole need of approval. Why do we feel approved? I don't feel like doing anything because I need an external source to make me feel good enough to get up and be motivated to do something. Isn't it? But try doing it to yourself. Try motivating yourself in whichever way you need to. Whether you need to come for these talks, whether you need to meditate, whether you need to listen to music, whether you need to reach out to a friend and say, I'm just feeling so demotivated. Can you just come and help pick me up? Or, let's have a chat or anything like that. Don't wait that somebody will come, somebody will know what's happening in your mind and they will read your mind and then they will say the exact words that you want to say. Right? So don't wait for those things because that is just like postponing life. It's really postponing life. Don't be in that waiting mode, as Muji Baba says. Don't be in a waiting mode. And all this that puts you down, this need for approval or validation, is only coming from, thoughts or things which are, again, something in the past, something in the future. Like you think, if I do this, then I will get this kind of approval. Or if I didn't do this, that's why this person is rejecting me. But the person is not rejecting you. And why will anybody not approve of you when you're interacting? I don't mean like an artificial kind of approval. Why will the other person not feel, say, loving towards you? What is approval? It's just expressing love in some words, isn't it? Why will the other person not feel that love towards you? Other person, people, whether they're employees or seniors in office or people at home, parents, partners, friends, children, they will not do that only because that there are only two reasons why the other person or people around you will not validate you. It is because they are not feeling good about themselves. If they have their cup full, if they are feeling good about themselves, they'll just pour that ahead to you, isn't it? So if we have our cup full and we are so, self-validating and acknowledging and approving us of ourselves, obviously we'll approve of others. And I just mean when it comes from the heart. There are a lot of people who are very egoistic and full of themselves. They will never be able to approve because they're only trying to find the so-called fault in the other person. Isn't it? So fill yourself up, fill your cup up fully so that you can only pour out that love that you are feeling within you. And what stops you from doing that? What stops you from doing that? The best way to do that is to, just acknowledge, approve, write, make your affirmations, write things which are, uplifting to help you feel more worthy. Because those sounds or those voices in your head are always coming from outside that ask you, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? And, it's so ironical because sometimes you want a particular thing in your life. You're yearning for a particular thing in your life. And when it's time for you to get get that, your mind starts doubting that, oh, will I really get this? Will I be able to handle this? Will I be able to, look at this? That's when we start to shake, but nobody outside has put that doubt. So the universe just doesn't know what you want. Do you want it or not? Will you be able to handle it or not? Because now you are getting doubtful about it. And then you say, I tried so hard, but I didn't get it. So it was nothing outside that stopped you. It was your own inner doubt, that own inner, critic that stopped it from coming into your life. Yes, Vani, we want to hear from you. Special guest of honor today. Sorry.
Vani's in the group, na?
Pardon?
No. So Sujata, the thing is that my question is that, sometimes when you're on a high, then actually you don't need anybody's validation because you feel great about your own self and you're absolutely okay. And whether someone is judging you or not judging you, if you are in your happy space, you don't care about people's misjudgment also. But when you're in the low, I think then that is the time when you're looking for validation also, and that is the time that
Yeah,
you
everything is like not good, including yourself. So
yeah.
when you say that, see, firstly understand the bigger message in the statement that you're making, which is so important, which says that, when you're on a high, everything is okay. When you're in a low, everything is down in the dumps. But then that's how it is at the moment now. And you have to understand that neither are the highs permanent, neither are the lows permanent. You always want to be on a high. Now that's not life. Tell me any one thing that is not, going through the course of up and down in life. Any one person who's always been on a high. The only way you can be on a high is to be fully enlightened, isn't it? And in this body, understand that whatever you're going through is only a part of life, isn't it? Just hold on, this too shall pass. All that wisdom that we have within us. And when you have that faith or that trust or that belief in life, then the highs and lows will not trouble you. Somebody coming and telling you, okay, it's not so bad, there's still hope, there's still, of course, that's okay. But I'm not talking about situations outside. I'm just talking about how you're feeling about yourself. To want that, okay, I will only be able to move or live my life fully when this other person gives me approval or is present in my life in the way I want him or her to be. I want my parent to behave in this particular way, or I want my sibling to behave in this particular way to be able to, for me to be happy. Now that's asking for a bit too much. That's really asking for a bit too much. Because I have based my entire happiness, my joy on this person's presence, and not just his or her presence, their approval of me as a person, as I am. Isn't it? Now, sometimes we even feel, oh, this other person has not responded to my message or has not called me back. And for all you know, they might be even busy that they have not seen their phone. Anything could have happened. But in that short time, do you know what all your mind goes through? Pata nahi maine kya keh diya, what happened? I didn't mean to say it this way. You're only doing your questioning, answering in your head, and that is really draining you. But stop, catch yourself there. Maybe the other person is just busy. Maybe their phone is not working. There could be so many reasons, but we will never think of those reasons. We will only put ourselves down, get into a blame situation, get into a guilt. The first reaction may be different. Like, I don't know why they don't respond, or why she doesn't respond, why she doesn't. And then slowly, did I do something? Then you start taking it upon yourself. And so much more. I'm just quoting one or two few things. So stop. When you catch yourself, just stop there and just know it is just okay. Can we not take everything in life just the way it is? This happened, and there's a statement that somebody was making once on a mic in a satsang in Rishikesh, that my legs were shaking, shivering, and I was shivering with fear because whatever. So Guruji immediately stopped him and said that, can you not just look at it as my legs were shaking? Why do we have to add our stories to it? Because it is not the shivering in the body or the churning or the palpitations or the breathlessness that is troubling you. It is the story attached to it, which you attach, which may not even be true. And most of it is putting ourselves down, isn't it? Or putting a situation in our life that we're not able to cope with, or something that may have happened. And yes, I'm not denying that it may be so that the situation is like that, but you can surely deal with it if it is put in your life. And just look at it at face value. My legs are shaking, my heart is, racing, I'm feeling a kind of a palpitation, whatever it is. Just feel it at face value. Don't attach stories and situations to it to take you down the drain, because that is only your mind interpreting things. If you just stop at that, my legs are shaking or my legs are shivering, attend to the legs that are shivering, go cover them, wear your socks, do something, Does that make sense?
Yeah. So Shalini also added that we, kind of create a lot of self-judgment for ourselves. So it's also about self-validation. Like, I should also be happy in my own skin and with my own actions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's so much, see, when we look at ourselves, usually the stuckness comes in one area of our life. My job is going very well, but my relationships are not good. My relationships is absolutely fine. Everything is fine, but I'm just not able to move ahead in my career. So encash on what you're good at, and that doesn't mean that. So when you look at the happy part of your life also, I have these qualities in me, or, maybe I can't do this particular skill well, but I can do the others, or acknowledge that, yes, I can only do to this ability, but I'm much better than what I was. Isn't it? Simple things to pat yourself, and whenever you catch yourself putting yourself down, stop immediately. Just stop immediately. Yes, Sybil ladies, please say.
So, Auntie, basically, this is like a question from both our
You
sides.
put your screen on now. It's okay to be in your night suits.
Yes, Auntie. So it's like a question from both our sides that sometimes, certain relationships are based on like approvals and validation. And if that particular thing does not happen, it ends up getting into a fight, misunderstanding, disappointment. So, Auntie, what to do about it?
See, it's exactly what I'm talking about. When you say that the relationship is based upon approval of the other, just see where you've put your stakes. The other may not want to approve, so all your life you'll be like that.
Hmm.
They may not want to approve because he or she doesn't see that in you, and may never see all your life. Is there anything wrong in that? You approve of yourself, and if it is okay with you, you go ahead and do what you want to do to the level that you can and to the level that you feel okay. Nothing more than that. And ask yourself, but why is it that the other person's approval is so important? Tell me now.
Because I think it creates certain kind of like either a disappointment or a anger from the other
No,
side.
no. Why do you think that the other person's approval is so important?
Probably because of the attachment. Attachment, yeah, Auntie, the attachment.
So, I mean, attachment, if you're wanting approval in, say, a section of your life which the other person doesn't even understand, how can the approval of the other person be? It's only the attachment because you're attached, so you want the other person. That's not being fair to yourself, isn't it?
Hmm.
Isn't it? If I keep telling a doctor that, no, you're just not good, I'm nobody to judge a doctor because I don't know ABC of medicine. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm waiting, the doctor keeps waiting for me to say that, yeah, you are a very good doctor. Then though he'll be waiting all his life, because for some he'll be very good, for some he won't be good.
Yes.
That happens with everything, doesn't it? See it. When you see it, it happens with everything. Some people like it, some people don't like it. That does not mean that you are bad.
Yes.
You have to like it. Isn't it? You have to like it. And also when you work, see, I took this example of Srishti's purposely, because when you have to work, your focus should not be that I'm working to seek the other person's approval. I'm working to do my best. This is the best poster that I have created till now. Then it will never go, then it will never be that the other person will not approve of it. Isn't it? So your focus of doing something should not be to get the approval of the other person. Your focus should not be that I'm doing this to get the approval of the other person. That defeats the whole purpose of what you're doing.
Right.
It should be more that this is my best creation and I love doing what I'm doing. And I'm the best at it. And of course you are. Nobody can do like you. Nobody can be like you. You are totally unique in the way that you are. Isn't it? Each one of us here. We may have thoughts that are similar. We may have, things. We may even have facial expressions. We may even have, like, our whole physical appearance may be similar to somebody, but still there is a uniqueness in everybody. Just as it is in the physical body, it is in your mind and your whole life. So we have to accept others just the way they are. What is the frustration? The frustration is he or she is not the way I want them to be. If they're the way I want them to be, then I will approve of them, isn't it? I will totally approve of them. But if I'm not approving of them, that means that, either I drop that whole relationship. Or I keep waiting all my life.
point.
Yes, auntie.
Point.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
very important
Yeah.
important thing to be noted, like, especially for Tanvi, I think right now.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
auntie. Thank you.
Thank you, auntie.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Vinita. Anyone else who wishes to share? Yes, Vani, go ahead.
So, Sujata, I also wanted to say, like, how we were talking about validation through putting up posters on pictures on Facebook and Instagram. The same way, I think, what is happening is that every time I see someone's post on Instagram or on Facebook, the immediate reaction is obviously an analysis and judgment of the picture. I've been genuinely trying to be putting in a conscious effort to not be analytical and just be happy, or probably just best the people who've posted, some happy occasion, or, to show some care when there's a sad occasion. We generally tend to be over judgment, and then sometimes, it also carries forward to that, that it's a topic of discussion. Oh, you saw that person's picture, see what she was wearing. So I think,
Yeah. And we did speak about this last week also, because it was not Facebook. I think we gave it a name as Fakebook than Facebook, because it's not really so true. What you're seeing is not really so true. Isn't it? What you're seeing is just what the person. And yes, I'm not saying about everything. People genuinely post happy and good things also, which is fine. But again, it is how you are responding to that. And a part of you sometimes feels jealous also, feels envious also, that why am I not there? Or, it's okay to feel. It's a normal reaction, isn't it? It's a very, very normal reaction. So it's okay to feel that at that time. But just feel it and let it go. Don't hold on to it. Because then the story starts from the mind. Na? Oh, see, she's out on a holiday. She goes every month. I hardly get to go on a holiday even once. And then the blah, 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 it all just starts off. Isn't it?
Yeah, but sometimes I feel that, because we like start our day with the social media thing, I think it's a very bad practice that we are doing, self-sabotaging ourselves by, kind of being analytical and judgmental about it.
But we know how to correct ourselves. And also know it's okay. And I mean, again, it's to seek that approval, to get those many likes, or to get those many, hearts or whatever. If that's the purpose of putting it, then it's really totally fake. Because mostly, maybe there are people who haven't even seen it. But why go to that level where you feel that validation you're putting? See, again, what are you putting it out? What is the energy with which you're posting what you're posting? Is it just to share your happiness with the world because you are happy? Then the post will get the different kind of a response. Are you putting it to see, okay, so I hope this person sees it, and I hope this person understands what I'm trying to. The person may not even see it or forget about understanding, because it's just something that is going on in your mind. Again, you have to understand and get back to this, that it's all about something that is happening in your mind and going on in your mind, and you can totally deal with it. You don't need to put it out so strongly to get a reinforcement from the people or situation around you.
Right.
Yeah. And like we were talking yesterday, that there is so much more to life than just this, say, this one situation or one person or a couple of people at work or at home for their approval to come to me. Even if it is like, say, everybody in my house puts me down, and I'm just like always seeking for approval. Why should you even if they can't see the good in you? And that does not mean that there is no good in you, isn't it? That does not mean that there is no good in you. So you be the best version of yourself, because like I even wrote on that poster, you're just perfect as you are. Now, if you have a particular thing which is not approved by, say, many people around you, there are so many other people who will approve of it and, give you that kind of love and validation that you need. 100% you will get it from somewhere in the universe if you start appreciating and acknowledging it and blessing yourself with it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's so amazing. I was
Yeah,
just thinking everything really boils down to self-love that you've been always teaching us. I think that's been one thing that we've always been talking about.
yeah. And we
And
never focus on us. Even when we do Reiki, when we learn Reiki and we get up after our first full body experience, it's like, wow, what was that? What did I experience? And everybody, I would say 99.9% people feel a high after that. And I'm sure most of you on this group can vouch for that. And so I ask people, and that's why sometimes I always say that Reiki is just so beautiful to learn and grow with, because so lovingly you touch your eyes, your ears, your body, like, are you even aware that you do that? Are you even aware of all these different body parts and organs who are working for you 24/7? Have we ever stopped to thank them? And then how lovingly you're placing your hands here, placing your hands here, placing your hands here, and you're actually waiting for somebody to love you. But you see that when you do it from totally a blank space of Reiki, just come out feeling that high. And these are just different ways or expressions of self-love, isn't it? They're just different ways and expressions of self-love. In fact, one of the things that I told Rachita also today morning was that I don't know how. Beyond the point, sometimes we don't know how to answer to a how for some of these things. Like, but how do I do it? I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to connect. I don't know how to connect with myself or with my body. Reiki is one of the simplest and the most loving ways of doing it, isn't it? One of the most simplest and the most loving ways of doing it. I suddenly see Manjula's big M in front of me. How are you, Manjula? Anything you wish to share? Yeah, Rachita, I want to hear something from you.
I'm just thinking about everything that, has been discussed right now. It makes so much sense. Like these simple things that we already know. I think we
Yeah.
just need reminders sometimes that, you know,
Hmm.
you need to show up for yourself more than you show up for anybody else.
And why do you want somebody else to show up for yourself? This new generational language I'm really learning. You need to show up for yourself. We only used to think, oh, you need to speak up for yourself. Now you need to show up for yourself. Yeah. Why do you think that somebody else should do that for you? Some
Again,
of
the same
you,
topic that we have been discussing.
sorry, go ahead.
Like the same thing that we just discussed, that why do we need it? It is not required.
Yeah, but then you see, a lot of times, especially in your generation, and I'm just taking it in a very open way, that you want to be so independent in every aspect of your life, isn't it? You want to be earning for yourself, you want to be financially stable, you want your own stuff. So why this neediness in this aspect? Have you ever thought of questioning that?
Yeah, I do ask myself a lot. But
Yeah,
then I feel like there
this
is
is
a
how
need of,
it's going to be. Huh? Say, sorry, go ahead.
I still feel like sometimes there's a need of, you need people around you who can, you know, be genuinely there for you.
But see, that's absolutely okay. You just be genuine with yourself, with life, with people, and you don't keep thinking that I am genuine or I am generous, so everybody needs to be that way. Everybody is different. If you enjoy being happy and genuine around people, you will only attract that. You will only attract that.
Right.
And sometimes our situation, our jobs, our way of being stops us from doing that. We may need to put up certain things, but it's okay. We don't have to. It's only knowing, but you're doing it from a point of awareness, isn't it?
Right.
But if
Auntie,
you're
that
just genuine in your heart, then why would you want? It's okay if they're genuine, fine. So understand that life is not a barter system. And I've explained this before also. Life is not a barter system. If you are being nice to somebody from with the thought that the other person should be nice to you, that's really fooling yourself. Can we not just enjoy being nice to them because I like to be nice or I am a nice person? Isn't it?
right, right.
Right?
Auntie,
Can
there's
we not?
one more issue
Yeah.
that I feel, like when I start being too independent on all these things, like, like you said, for flowers. So I feel like I am being closed off to receiving from other people. Like when somebody else do it for me, then I would feel that I know this is some other issue.
It's very good, Anna. That's the normal thought that everybody would have. But why don't you start doing it for others? It's always in giving that you receive. But don't do it from the point that, okay, I should also get.
And it's
See
a
the
very difficult
giving.
stage to achieve.
No, it's not. See the joy in giving. See the joy in giving. Not
Yeah,
from the
but
point
I
that,
do feel closed off most of the times to receive from. I'm working on that. That
yeah.
it is okay to receive love
See,
also.
there you come. There you come. You're speaking it out yourself. You've caught yourself in your own
I
trap.
know with all these issues, I have pointed it out, but it's just I'm just making my way.
That's fine. And I'm happy that you're voicing it out. It takes a lot of courage to acknowledge it and then to voice it out here. So I'm happy that you're doing that. No, happy. I mean, just do nothing. Believe me, for the next 1 week, every morning or every time, look into the mirror, not just look at yourself superficially. Look into your eyes, look at yourself, smile at yourself, tell yourself, I love you. Say it once, say it twice, increase it to 10 times, at least 10 times in the day. You open your camera and you're going somewhere or you're clicking a picture, you're just like sort of putting yourself, setting yourself up. Pause there and then. Pause there and then look at yourself and say, wow, how beautiful. Don't think how the other person will think. Just do it and see. Even saying it makes you laugh. So what will it make you feel? It's the simple law of attraction. The more you do it to yourself, the more you will receive from others. But don't do it from the point of receiving because you will be so saturated with it that whether they do or they don't do, it won't matter. Bring yourself to that. It's not difficult at all. I mean, I'm telling you right now, wow, Rachita, you're so open and you're so aware and you're speaking on this platform. You should just pat yourself on your back and say, wow, not many people would have the courage to even say what you're saying. Isn't it? So just look at these small things and say, wow, write these things at night in your diary, in your journal that, wow, this is what I could do today. Lift yourself up. I'm the best. Those self-esteem affirmations are just so wonderful. Uma's just got into them, isn't it?
In fact, I said something similar the other day, and my husband looked at me and said, wow, that's not you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Because you are usually, like others also expect you to be that, poor me, or that thing who can't really appreciate themselves. And suddenly you say, oh, wow, I just feel I'm looking so good. Why do you want the other person to compliment you? First, compliment yourself.
Yeah.
You can say, wow, I'm really looking as good as you. Include the other person also in it.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
funny, so surprised he looked like, what? What are you doing? What are you saying?
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Just do that and do this mirror exercise. All of you do it. It helps everybody.
Our personal energy starts changing everything around us. I've
Totally.
actually
Totally.
seen it over
Totally.
the years.
Absolutely changes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much, Julie.
joining in.
Thank you so much.